These Hot Idiots is a podcast featuring our hosts, two full-grown adult men. Together, they watch teen drama and young adult-oriented television shows one episode at a time. These Hot Idiots is a comedy podcast and isn't meant to be taken as real criticism. This podcast uses adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Are you ready for some football?
Football!
Football!
That's the American Gladiators theme. What am I doing?
That is not the.
Oh, well, hey, we won't get sued, so we're good.
It's fine. Yeah, they'll sue you for going.
Well, we won't get sued by the NFL because they don't own the American Gladiators theme.
What if they did?
Welcome back to These Hot Idiots, episode 3 of Vampire Diaries season 1.
Yes.
Quick point of order, because I feel like we explained Hook. We have gone and done 2 episodes with Sting-based jokes and have not explained Sting.
Sting is a bird.
So
Man.
Sting is a professional wrestler who, back in the late 90s, in order to ape the success of the Brandon Lee movie The Crow, started dressing in black and white, like white face paint, black clothes, and got heavily associated with Crow imagery.
I don't even think he knew what. I don't even think he even knew what the Crow was.
Somebody had to have.
Yeah, that's the crazy part.
If not him, then somebody. Actually, who knows? Steve Borden might be up to date on the current trends. He also did Joker Sting for a while.
He brought Joker Sting back. Actually, he said, "I'm gonna be Joker Sting again," and then he was.
And then he was.
Then everyone was like, "Are you sure you should do that?"
But he did. But yeah, so anytime we see crows, we tend to associate them heavily with Sting. And Immortal is a wrestling stable from the company Impact Wrestling, then known as TNA, which Sting had feuded against, or maybe he was a part of. He might have been both.
TNA did this thing where there would just be these random factions that form and then just immediately like break up or degrade into civil war, perhaps.
Yes. In an effort to emulate the success WCW had back in the 90s with the New World Order.
Yeah.
None of them ever worked out.
No, yeah, it's just multiple versions of the New World Order, and none of them are ever any good.
That was our only real point of order, I believe. And really just our continuing explanation of wrestling stuff for the non-wrestling viewers, which I imagine is a lot of you, because I don't think... Actually, that might not be true.
You know what's the crazy part? We actually have viewers. Not a lot.
We have viewers.
But some. And that's concerning.
Actually, now that I figure out, there might be some intersection between people who watched CW, who watched the Vampire Diaries back when it was on the CW, and people who watch wrestling, because SmackDown was on the CW for a time.
Was it? I mean, it was on UPN.
It might have been on UPN. I don't remember. I feel like it had to be on the CW for a time.
So,
like before it switched to Sci-Fi.
I would like to frame this episode, Friday Night Bites, season 1, episode 3, with a question. Does this episode feel kind of like filler almost?
I mean, it establishes stuff.
It establishes stuff, but at the same time, I feel like everyone doing like a football themed episode for at least like half of it feels really like, look, man, we got like 20 something episodes and we gotta, we're approaching the end of the writing process. We gotta put some stuff in here, man.
Yep, it was on the CW 2006 to 2008, but this show started in 2009, so I am incorrect.
They cannot exist in the same world together.
They did not cross over.
Like peanut butter and Dawn dish soap.
Indeed. Like, it feels fillery, but I don't know. I think the thing is, we're only very loosely adapting the original books by the author whose name is currently escaping me and has been for the past 3 episodes.
Boopy boop a doop boop.
L.J. Smith. Thank you. L.J. Smith, yes. like this is only kind like it has some of the characters, and I imagine a few of the early plot beats are L.J. Smith's.
You know,
But this
eventually
is a
one
lot of
day
like
we get enough of a following, could have a Patreon goal be we read the books.
we actually read the books.
Yes.
That would be a very good goal to have. I've heard the from what we from the excerpts we've learned of, like the synopses we learned of through Jenny Nicholson.
It gets weird.
Apparently the books get real extra, and I'm excited.
I don't know, I kind of like the idea of it being kind of weird.
Yeah.
So, if you weren't aware of the episode name, Friday Night Bites, we are in football land. Everything's about football today.
And so, actually, pretty good play on this one to name it after the book, movie, and television franchise Friday Night Lights.
Also,
which
there
is
is
about football.
There's also a book called Friday Night Bites that isn't related to anything about this.
It just they kind of lucked into that name.
Look, man, there's a lack of puns that combine Friday Night Lights and vampires.
Yes.
Friday Night
also, just
Bites.
football and vampires is a very hard. That's hard to get good puns on.
God, I'd kill for a vampire football league. That would be so awesome.
That would be kind of sick.
That closest you can get is Mutant League football, but just imagine like a football series.
Like Universal Horror Monsters or just like various like classic horror monsters.
Classic horror monsters, but they're all playing like competitive American football.
Like a fucking werewolf team, a vampire team, like a Frankenstein team.
Guys who make Blood Bowl.
A zombie team.
Guys who make Blood Bowl. Hear me out.
Guys, yeah.
Yeah.
Vampire, just Monster Football League. Something.
We actually start this episode with Caroline in bed, and she's got a bite mark on her neck from Damon.
And like just blood on her pillow. And the day before we recorded this, you were talking about how you woke up like with your pillow just absolutely soaked and you were covered in like there was a puddle of your own drool on you.
I was in a puddle of my own drool, face first in the pillow. And
Now, go ahead.
And I pulled off and I could feel like the string of drool from my pillow to my face like get longer and break off.
And if you think that's bad, imagine waking up in a puddle of your own blood.
Well,
blood all over your pillow.
No one gave her a Band-Aid after he bit her neck. So
yeah.
Carolyn's like, yo, this dude just like bit me and is in my bed. So she tries to get out of bed, walks across her floor, which is squeaky because it's squeaky floor. I think I know
where the squeaky parts of your floor.
I think I know everywhere in my house that has like a squeaky floorboard.
That's why I kind of was convinced like maybe she's not in her own house. Maybe this is Damon's house.
Maybe.
But that seems very unlikely.
They don't confirm it either way.
It does seem unlikely because I imagine Seven would freak the fuck out at seeing Damon have a lady in his bed who he's bitten the fuck out of.
The funniest part was just like she gets to the door, opens the door, Damon's off the bed, and then it's just like,
Good morning.
Good morning, and then the music goes, Dinner.
There's like big scare chord. It's like like the timing.
These jump scares are getting really stupid.
These are some badly framed jump scares, man.
Whoa. So, Caroline freaks out and just starts throwing shit at Damon. Throws a lamp at him, kind of bounces off his head like it was made of rubber. It might have just been the prop department's like rubber like stuff just lobbing him at his head.
You don't want to throw it you don't want to throw an actual lamp at your actors. That'd be crazy.
Oh yeah.
I got a little confused during like the point where she's waking up and feeling like the wound, because I thought it was I wasn't sure what was going on because it looked like the wound kept switching sides. I think you pointed out it was a mirror thing. Like it was.
You thought it was jumping sides, but I thought they were like filming some of it in a mirror, maybe.
Yeah, like it might have been filmed in a mirror. I thought for a second there that he bit her on both ends, which seems a little excessive.
He's got OCD. He wanted to make it symmetrical.
That would actually be a very vampire thing. They are obsessed with counting grains of shit. If you throw like rice in front of a vampire, they gotta count all of that.
Count the rice. Count the rice.
Count the rice. I don't know if it's specifically rice, just anything there that you could just throw down where there's a lot of it.
She throws a pillow at him, and then he gives a big old pervert sniff of that like bloody pillow, and then attacks her again. Or it's implied that he attacks her again, but it cuts to the title card. We were joking during the opening recap, previously on Vampire Diaries.
Because a lot of it was recapping episode 1, and then it started shifting into episode 2, and we thought...
And I just wanted to talk about the joke of, like, what if it recapped every episode, no matter what?
No matter what, it just keeps recapping the series. Even when we're, like, 7 seasons in, and it's recapping, like, 6 seasons worth of story.
It's just a 40-minute recap.
We don't even get episode.
Yes.
We get like 2 minutes of episode, and then eventually that gets added to the recap.
No. So, they're at school. Everyone's at school. They're just having big school times. Elena's talking to Bonnie, I believe.
Yes.
Saying, like, what was that weird, like, vibe that you kept telling, like, you felt about Stefan?
Yeah, that you touched his arm or something, and what was up with that? Just, I don't know. It was like
while I was doxing you, I got some big yikes energy out of him.
Was it some of your watch mojo?
I have the Watch Mojo opening. I'm just gonna play it. Very wet sounding, actually.
It is. It has a weird wetness to it. Because she said witch mojo, and my brain, my jokey little brain, turned that into watch mojo. And that's just been in my head.
Sorry, I just keep thinking about top 10 lists. I just see top 10 lists in my head when I look at Stefan.
Was in a list of... Stefan was in a list of top 10 vampires, Elena.
Yeah, he was like number 4. It was crazy.
I was just thinking number 4 as well.
Not number 1. Number 4.
Number 4. Damon was number 1. The list was written by Damon, of course.
Then it kind of cuts to Tyler and Matt like playing catch in their like football jerseys in the front of the school.
Oh no, wait, I think there was like, we had like a thing with Jeremy and Vicky.
They talked for a bit. I don't remember what.
That Vicky got tickets to the Posers.
Tickets to the Posers.
I genuinely don't even know. That could be a very real band that they're trying to plug, or a fake band that they need to fill in.
And they have like generic X spatting. And
yeah, they have
I don't know why I love this quote from Matt and Tyler. One of them just goes, they're looking at Elena and Stefan walking, and one of them goes, "Oh, they're walking." Like,
yes, what people do.
It's just that thing you do when you look at someone you don't like, and they're just like, "Oh, look at him and his stupid hair and stupid face," and "Oh, they're walking. Ooh, look at them. They're walking together. They're walking."
Yeah, that sort of bitch eating crackers energy.
Look at bitch eating crackers over there.
Vampire eating crackers.
What kind of crackers are we talking about?
I don't know. Saltines?
Maybe. And then they start talking about trolls and gnomes.
Yeah. Like Tyler compares Matt to like a troll, like a garden troll or something, and Matt points out that's gnomes. Like trolls have like the colorful triangle like hair, like the big pointy updo and the jewels in their belly. And you don't put those in your yard, Tyler. What the fuck? I don't want to go to your house, Tyler.
Ah!
You alright?
I hit the clown horn. I'm sorry.
Oh, God. I didn't even hear the clown horn.
So, Tyler's just like, "Oh, get a load of this. If you're still mad about Stefan, watch this shit." And he, like, throws his football that he was playing catch with Matt with over to Stefan. And then he does like the sped up turn around to catch it. Whoop.
And this got me excited. Are we getting some vampire football?
Yeah, and then Stefan throws the football back, and I think they use like the same footage but flipped upside down
Like they reverse shotted the
to
throwback.
indicate the ball going the other way, and it slams right into Tyler.
Sadly, I think because Stefan is weak, this did not kill Tyler, which would have been a hell of a fucking turn if it just
like a fucking gory seinen manga. It just throws the football at him, and it just
and
gets
it just embeds in his chest.
all his like organs fly out his back.
Yeah, be insane. Love it. We then get to the history class.
Actually, we're now in an even darker than before hallway.
Oh my god, the color. Like, we're gonna talk about the color grading here in a bit, but this lighting.
It's so
Holy
dark.
shit, you can't
it's like the
see
lights
anything.
It's like the lights are off.
I genuinely wonder, is this a desperate attempt to cover for the fact that Stefan's actor does not look like a time frozen teenager? Him and Damon.
He looks slightly younger than Damon, like face wise. Like Damon's face, besides his trendy 2007 haircut.
Paul Wesley was like 27 at the time, and Ian Somerhalder would be 31.
He's got a lot of creases on his forehead. You can really tell if you like look at his eyebrows and where like his forehead starts that this dude is not 17.
No. Like I think people have it's graduation time and people are graduating around this time. And people at the drive-thru have asked if I'm one of the seniors graduating, and it kind of throws me off because I'm also 31, and it's like, do I look that young?
I've had people tell me I look like I'm an 18-year-old. I think it's the fact that I can't grow facial hair all that well because I don't have a lot of testosterone naturally. So the testosterone's like the beard chemical, and I don't got a lot of it. But the good news about that, I'm probably not going to be balding anytime soon. So I think we are back in the history class, and like they're whisper talking over the history teacher. And just like, I think Elena or somebody just suggests like, why don't you join the football team?
I think that's what they were discussing in the hallway too. The really dark hallway.
They were having like an extended conversation about the football team.
And how Damon thinks that football doesn't like him.
The concept of football doesn't like me.
I get what he's like. He's trying to hide the fact that
I met Ray Heisman and he punched me in the nose.
he jumped out of the goddamn grave to beat my ass.
No, he was a vampire. He knew.
Oh yeah, that's true. He would have met Ray Heisman.
Heisman was a real stiff. He fucking punched me in the balls and just said it was football training, and I don't understand.
And I never wanted to play football again.
And I didn't like those leather helmets. I'm trying to think of the.
And Theodore Roosevelt called me a pussy.
Theodore Roosevelt called me a pussy.
And then he judo threw me onto the floor.
I'm trying to think of like.
Oh, it was John Heisman, not
John
Ray Heisman.
I don't know why I went with Ray Heisman.
You got him confused with Ray Harryhausen.
Ray Harryhausen.
The special effects artist. Anyway.
I'm just thinking of that time. There was this YouTuber named John Boyce.
Oh, yeah.
And he did like sports history videos, and I was like really into that. And he talked about how like this church decided to mess with like John Heisman's football team. And they proceed to beat him 141-0.
God damn.
I'll show you that video later.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
I'm just
they're doing a whisper talk of
you've angered the football man. Oh, it was the Cumberland Vs Georgia Tech football game in 1916. What if Stefan was on frickin' Georgia on frickin' Cumberland, just like got
Cumberland,
blown
yeah.
out by John Heisman. Oh, sorry, it was 222-0.
Jesus.
It's the best. We can get into it later, but just you've angered the football man.
Well, that was a very interesting history lesson, Ash. By the way, for those of you who are just joining us, I'm Mega. That's Ash. We forgot to introduce ourselves. Point of order. Let's introduce ourselves next time.
That'll be very common.
That'll be very common. But yeah, that was a very interesting bit football history lesson, Ash. But speaking of history, this teacher sucks.
This
teacher
teacher
is the worst.
This teacher. I think he gets mad that they're whispering, and then he just starts grilling.
Elena.
Well, he originally grills Elena, talking about like what year certain historical events were. Like, when did World War II end, for example?
I think he was asking for like the date of Pearl Harbor.
No, I think he was asking for the end of World War II, which was 1945. And
yeah.
Stefan answers for Elena, and he's just like, correct, Miss Gilbert.
And then he just starts a fucking like a dick swinging contest.
A dick swinging contest with the people that he's like sworn to teach.
With Stefan about like, oh, when did this happen?
When did the end of the Korean War happen? When did JFK get shot?
Berlin Wall fall.
When did the Berlin Wall fall? When did
Martin Luther King, Lincoln?
When did Roe v. Wade get like instituted? Well, there's not anymore.
Goddamn. And it's just like,
and
eventually
then
he's like,
he gets the end of the Korean War wrong, which you shouldn't get wrong if you watched M.A.S.H. M.A.S.H. podcast. No,
we're gonna pivot into a M.A.S.H. podcast. Still
anyway,
call it These Hot Idiots.
Anyway, this is when Klinger comes in, and no, I don't understand this teacher's methods of just insulting his class.
Just a dick.
And giving them, like, pop quiz, motherfucker. It's just like, aren't there supposed to be books or, like, reference material? Aren't you supposed to be teaching these children something? So we cut to Matt, who was playing the football. In fact, playing football. And
yes,
the football coach...
I think they're in the training, and this is where we learn.
The football coach is also the history teacher.
How fucking understaffed are you?
I've heard of, like, teachers who also do PE, right? But
yeah,
that isn't a football coach. A football coach is, like, the strategist of the football team.
And also, you said gym teachers who do PE. That's a different thing from a history teacher.
I can imagine like a physically fit history teacher doing PE on the side, but because he's busy teaching his students about history, you think he wouldn't have time for it, but he clearly does.
Really does.
Clearly does.
And this is where we also notice the absolute shittiness of this color grading.
So
this is like an outdoor scene.
The thing about Twilight is it's very blue. It is super blue.
It's blue and green and
all the colors
gloomy.
are just blue and gray and blue, and they're washed out. Now, this kind of has a washed out vibe, but first of all, it's yellow. The color grading has a yellow tint to it. Also, they crushed the blacks. And like, it's a color grading term. Shut up. They're also in Virginia. They'll crush. Yeah.
Oh my god, we're gonna lose one of our viewers.
Digging my own grave here, but it's even in the brightest of daylight scenes, like when it cuts to Elena doing cheerleader training with whoever she does cheerleading.
Bonnie and Caroline are in these scenes.
It looks like it's evening almost,
but it's like we're in the afternoon. It's sunny out.
We're in the afternoon. Sun's out, guns out. It is partly cloudy, maybe even like a clear sky, and it's still dark.
You could forgive Twilight. This is one of the weird moments where I'm saying that Twilight did something better. you could forgive Twilight for its color grading, because it's supposed to be set in a gloomy ass section of fucking Washington where it's super fucking cloudy. Admittedly, that's
you
probably
mean
not accurate to
Forks?
Washington. Yes, Forks.
Forks, Washington.
Forks, Washington. But you could forgive that
compared to
to a
Spoons,
degree.
Virginia, or whatever this town's name is.
Yeah,
Mystic
Spoons,
Falls.
Virginia. Mystic Falls.
Mystic
We're
Falls
calling
and
it
Spoons, Virginia.
We're calling it Spoons now.
Welcome to
Sorry.
Spoons, Virginia. It's kind
Apologies. Go ahead.
we killed the god of the sun.
Spoons, Virginia. Apologies to all Virginians from Spoons.
Is there a town called Spoons?
Probably not in Virginia.
City.
I'm gonna put Spoons. It's what the disambiguation on Wikipedia tells me. No.
It keeps adding Y's. It's like now it's Spoon City with like 5 Y's. Google, is there a town called Spoons?
There does not appear to be. There's not even one called Spoon.
And called Spoons?
Not in this show though.
No. Spoon's sex position.
Oh my god.
No. Spoon River in Illinois. Spoon Radio in Korea. Spoon, the wooden spoon charity. The wooden spoon charity. Okay.
I feel like you were gonna go so deep that you eventually landed on Spoonie.
No Spoonie.
No.
There would be a lot more yelling if he was watching this show.
Yes.
Compared to my, like, mild bemusement and confusion.
Yes. I be the loud one here. So Stefan does actually try out for the football team.
Stefan does a walk-on, and he's just like, hey, I'm here to join the football team. I used to play football. And then the history teacher coach man is like, horse shit, you don't play football, what are you talking about? And it's like, yeah, I used to be a wide receiver.
Yeah. And something about the 1971 Super Bowl winner.
Oh yes. Which I think was the Colts?
Yes, we looked it up. It was the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, Colts. Hey.
Yeah.
And then the teacher's like, rough him up a bit when he's doing this tryout. And he
wants him hazed. Which is just continuing in his.
The weird part
is
the
greatness.
teacher says that he doesn't know how to play football, which is weird because Stefan said he does know how to play football.
He's trying to get the other like players to haze him. It seems like telling him all sorts of shit. Continuing to set a sterling example for Mystic Falls High School of Spoons, Virginia.
Damn it, Spoons, Virginia, you've disappointed me.
I'm sorry, folks. This is just gonna be the thing. I'm never going to call it Mystic Falls again. It's just Spoons to me now. Caroline shows up actually later. I feel like. Oh yeah,
Mystery Grill Man appears, and it's Damon in a Camaro. And fun fact, Damon's Camaro has a wiki entry on the Vampire Diaries wiki.
God, I love wikis sometimes. They just have like...
I think it just takes you to a list, but I just like the fact it's Damon's Camaro.
Damon's Camaro.
He appears with Caroline, who's got a fancy scarf. I wonder why.
Got a fancy scarf on. Interesting. But I realized, yeah, I think Bonnie and Elena were talking because Elena's trying to kind of like ease her way back into things she was doing before her parents' death.
I used to be real fun, and now I'm not fun. And
so I need to be fun again.
I'm going to go do the things that are fun so I can have fun again and try to have fun anyway. So she's
trying to return to normalcy.
She returns the cheerleading team. And then we are reminded that it is 2009.
Well, we are also told that Caroline immediately starts taking a man and starts asking them to do the double pike turkey hurdler.
The double pike turkey hurdler?
Turkey hurdler.
Turkey hurdler. Okay, I do know that pike is a gymnastics term. I think that's a flip.
Mm-hmm.
But what is a herky hurdler?
I'm just gonna look up double pike herky hurdler. Oh my god, this is not a. Oh,
All right,
let's see.
girls, we need to practice the triple Lindy stat.
That's a diving thing. They
I
don't
know.
do that in cheerleading.
Well,
I'm
it could be
seeing
transposed into cheerleading.
there's a list of cheerleading jumps, so that helps. A herky named for Lawrence Herkimer, the founder of the National Cheerleaders Association. This jump is similar to a side hurdler, except that instead of both arms being in a T-shaped position, both arms are opposite of what the leg beneath them is doing. So I guess it's a double pike into a herky or something to the effect.
Yeah, but the hurdler just seems thrown in.
The hurdler seems kind of there for the benefit of people who don't know cheerleading terminology.
It is some all that shit, like from like a something you would hear on an episode of All That if they were like pretending to be cheerleaders.
Most likely, yeah. Just kind of throwing the terminology around. I imagine if there are any comments that like who can prove that a double pike herky hurdler is a doable thing, let us know.
Link me like a YouTube video.
Link us a YouTube video. Make YouTube videos if you gotta. Don't dox your friends though. That's not allowed.
I told you not to do that.
Told you not to do that in the comments. And thankfully, from what I can tell, we have no comments, so no one has done that.
As a reminder that we are trapped in 2009, they do their cheerleading routine over 303.
Specifically, the song Starstruck, which is just
spelled exactly how you think it's spelled.
Spelled exactly as you'd expect for 2009 and 303.
God, I hate 303 so fucking much.
Terrible, terrible time. Awful era was the early 2000s music. It was this weird thing
where, like, crunk was popular and pop punk was popular. So they wanted to combine kind of like pop punk, the aesthetics of pop punk with the raunchiness of crunk rap. And it made 303, which is like getting cancer.
Oh, 303 is kind of like if you tried to make a more accessible Broken Side.
Yeah, no screaming. They wouldn't scream.
No, just like a more accessible Broken Side, which is just bad enough because it's Broken Side.
One little homework for you. Go look up Broken Side.
Look up Freaks.
Look up Freaks with X's by Broken Side, and just
it's like 3 X's, I think, or something, or 2 X's.
And
it's
then
an amount of X's.
Then wonder why we stray further from God's light.
But in terms of complete musical whiplash, we transition out of this 303 song to the girls like doing cheer practice, to the boys practicing football, to the Black Keys.
Blues Revival Band. That's actually ongoing popular.
Yeah. But like going from Starstruck to Strange Times is like, what the hell?
Yeah, and like Elena just immediately ditches practice to watch Stefan play football. He's kind of on a knife's edge in terms of like, I gotta do good, but like not too good to make myself not look suspicious.
He's trying not to catch anyone's attention by being really good, even though he established he knows how to play. The only one who says he didn't is the teacher, who's a dick.
I wish he just like went full vampire power on the football and he's just like, look at this fucking guy. Look at this fucking guy.
Just yeets that thing into the goddamn stratosphere.
Well, he's a wide receiver, so he'd be running away from people.
He'd be going for the catch.
He's big catchies. That's what a wide receiver does.
Just jumps into the air to catch the ball.
Jumps into the air like it's a fucking anime and just snatches that shit out of midair.
Fucking craters his way down, but keeps running.
So he pisses off Tyler because he's good at football, and Tyler gets Matt to tackle him as hard as he can. And after like a big midair tackle, Matt's like, "Oh, sorry, man," and then gets off because he kind of feels bad he hit him that hard. And Stefan breaks a finger, but he just he pops that shit back in because he can heal.
Right back in. Because he's a vampire and he doesn't feel pain like the humans do.
Is there anything after this, or do we cut to like Stefan reading his doing an entry in his Vampire Diaries?
I believe so. Yes, he is doing it. I think he's reading his Vampire Diaries. He might have done an entry. I just know that Damon
Damon
comes in.
Damon does like a speed up grab of his diary.
Yes. Starts taunting him. I had to give Damon credit. He taught me something in this episode, which is that BTW means by the way.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know. I've just always been wondering why people say BTW. Okay, that's sarcastic, but I do love that he just explains that to Stefan.
Stefan, who just clearly doesn't understand the lingo.
Clearly.
I love the fact, and I wish they'd lean into this, that like Damon acts like he's well versed in like modern society and like teenage culture, but he's also perpetually trapped in like 1995. That'd be funny to me.
Oh my god, it'd be so good.
Totes.
We need more vampires that are completely out of date.
I like the idea that a vampire like tries to. I'm imagining a story where like after a 75-year rest, they like envelop themselves in 1997 like culture, and then they never change. So there's just this dude with like hypercolor shirts and his just stupid 90s haircut.
Fucking flannel.
And he's wearing flannel, and he's just like, "What's up, broski?" It's like, oh god.
Ah,
dude.
guy.
Nirvana? Oh my god.
The best.
So they mentioned that Damon just wants to like tease Stefan over the fact that he's dating Caroline now. And he mentions that he's got a date coming up with her. I hope he doesn't get sweaty palms, and my stupid biology brain just activates. Is like, vampires sweat.
Do vampires perspirate? Do they need to hydrate?
Because they don't sweat blood, they're sweating sweat. Sweat's water with like body stuff in it.
Yeah.
But they could sweat.
They can sweat. So they had to perspirate, which requires water for hydration.
Yeah. I don't know. Or if it's a turn of phrase, but he like showed his hands, and
he showed his hands, implying that he does in fact have sweaty palms. He even rubs them.
He rubs his hands, and he's like, "I got sweaty hands." I don't know, man.
I don't know. Is that a thing that needs to be discussed about vampire lore? Just in general vampire lore?
So
do vampires sweat?
Bonnie and Elena are at Elena's house, and they're just like prepping sandwiches and doing other stuff in their kitchen.
I think they were making a salad of some kind.
And Bonnie won't shut up about a commercial she saw on TV.
Yeah, like some sort of commercial. And then she starts talking about how she keeps seeing like free numbers, 8, 14, and 22.
Ike.
Yeah, and we just had the joke of anytime she saw these numbers, she also just got like randomly tackled by a defensive tackle.
She just gets like tackled off screen, like just
off screen.
Tackled so hard she goes off camera.
Like,
but yeah, those are the numbers that worries her, and Elena's joking like, "Oh, maybe you should put them in the lottery," even though I think you need more numbers if you're playing Powerball, but whatever.
You need more numbers. I don't even think you can have scratch-off numbers like that.
No. So this is a plan to make Bonnie less uncomfortable around Stefan by inviting him to dinner.
An awkward three-way date.
Awkward, dimly lit three-way date where they're all just...
Oh, well, we can't forget about the ominous serving spoon.
No, it wasn't an ominous serving spoon. It was ominous birthday candles.
It was both.
It was both.
It was both, because Elena's looking for the serving spoon,
and then Bonnie and the strings start coming in, and she's like walking over to the drawer.
Well, because Bonnie tells her where the serving spoon is, even though it's not her house, which is weird. But I think it's supposed to be weird
Well,
in
they're implying that
show.
she can like read minds or something, or she knows where things are. But Elena just says, "Yeah, you've been in this house like 10,000 times. It's fine."
And then when Elena goes off screen, like she goes to a drawer and goes, "Birthday candles," and opens it. Ominous birthday candle.
Oh my god!
Oh.
But now I'm thinking of that SpongeBob joke where she pulls open the drawer and Damon's face is in there, and he goes, "Hi, mailman."
Hi, Bonnie.
Hi, Bonnie.
Ah! And
So,
now we get this.
Stefan can't eat food because he's eating in this scene with the two of them at the. This reminds me of an episode late in Breaking Bad where like Walt and Skyler are kind of on the outs, but Jesse just sort of shows up and they all just quietly eat dinner in this like dimly lit dinner table. And it's just
super awkward.
Jesse's just like super uncomfortable the whole time. It reminds me of that, even though it's supposed to be like, oh, let me just get you used to Stefan over here.
It's so awkward, like intentionally so, I imagine. But God, the awkwardness can be cut with a knife.
They talk about Bonnie and witches again in Salem, Massachusetts. And...
You know,
look, I don't want to be that guy. Like, oh, you're a black lady. You can't be from Massachusetts.
Your witch family can't be from Massachusetts. You have to be from New Orleans, like all the other black witches. But it's like, Salem is so overplayed. Do something else.
You can even just say that you have a mixed family because, like, some of your family fled Salem, or like some of your family went to Salem, or they met someone and they eloped. But like,
there's a lot of other places that have like histories with witchcraft and Wicca and all that stuff. Fucking Stefan offers probably the best out of like, yeah, there were probably like you're probably descended from Celtic druids, and it's like no, Salem, and it's like, sorry.
by the way, fun fact about the books: I just was doing some like really basic research while I was taking a break after watching the episode. Vampire Diaries book Bonnie is white, has a different last name too.
Interesting.
Same character, different last name, and she's white.
Probably just a bit of colorblind casting on that.
Maybe, but I feel I feel like you can have the same character in spirit and have slightly different backstories and sort of justify why this character has a different last name and different appearance. Like
I think
it doesn't have to be you completely rewrite the character. I just think like, oh, you're from X, you know?
Yeah. Maybe the different last name is that her parents aren't divorced. She brings up that her family is divorced during the awkward dinner.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just a matter of Bonnie's parents aren't divorced in the book. Who knows?
Birthday candle.
Well, we will find out when we launch our Patreon and set the goal for reading the books.
Yeah, we'll just read the books.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be one chapter at a time. It might just sort of be like we hit a checkpoint and then we talk about everything up to that checkpoint.
Yeah.
That seems more feasible. Anyway.
Yeah, do it the 372 pages way.
I don't know how they do it.
They do sections of like a book. They'll do like up to this like chapter.
So Damon just shows up uninvited with one of those cakes you buy in the like cake section of a grocery store, and Caroline's with him.
Yeah.
And it's really dark.
It's really dark.
At least it's night. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, at least it's night, so this is justifiable. And this is Damon getting invited into the house.
They kind of go back and forth on inviting him. Stefan keeps telling him he's not invited. But Elena says, your brother's not so bad. Like, come in. And then he is invited. Oh, no.
And that another vampire has been invited into the house.
And they keep having various versions of the same conversation where it's like, I used to be cool, and then my parents died, and now I'm lame.
And you remind us of Caroline.
You remind us of Caroline.
Or Catherine.
Catherine. You remind me of...
Caroline's here.
You remind me of Caroline, who's sitting right here.
Remind us of Catherine.
So it was implied, but they do reveal that Caroline has been, like, whatever the word is they use, persuaded.
Yeah, she's been put under suggestion.
Yeah. But I sort of think I think it cuts back and forth between this and the diner.
Yeah, there's a cut to the diner where it's like Jeremy and Tyler start up another
Jeremy and Tyler
thing.
are like, come on, man, fight me, man, come on.
Fight me, fight me.
Fight
And
me. Fight me.
Fight me. And then eventually, like, Matt kind of, like, breaks it up. And the fucking weird thing is, he gets on Vicky about it. Like, what did you do or something like that? And it's like, what you putting this on her for? Between Jeremy and Tyler. They're the idiots here.
Yeah, they are both idiots.
Yeah.
Be a bystander. It's probably better for you. Cut back from the diner to Damon, who dropped a cup, but then he didn't drop the cup. He caught the cup as it fell because he's helping load the dishwasher.
And this became our weird idea of Damon, is that he is going to constantly be using Elena's dishwasher now that he has access to her house.
That's his long game. His long game is access to a dishwasher.
They don't have one at the Salvatore household.
Of course they don't. It's been around for a long time.
They've never updated it ever.
I don't know what I would call it, but I always call it like my running gag of the episode of, like, I'll notice something that's funny and then I'll keep, like, tying it back to that one joke for the rest of the episode.
Yes.
And Damon's obsession with using the dishwasher was that, like, running joke for this episode for me.
It's like the Jeremy and the Tylenol.
Yes. Yo, we got some Tylenol. So this one is Damon wants to use the dishwasher.
That's his only goal.
So they talk about Catherine and how she died in a fucking fire.
Died in a fire.
Sort of like Elena uses some intuition and picks up that, like, she was both your exes.
She was both your ex, yeah.
And it's like, what did you see in her? And I was like, and you were like,
she was
hot. She was hot.
Especially when she was on fire.
Especially when she was burning alive in her house. She was real hot then.
Real hot.
He also suggests that she quits the cheerleading team because if you're not having fun with it, fuck it.
We'll see if that advice follows through.
Yes, Caroline is now talking to Stefan on the couch about Matt and their relationship with Elena. And he notices that wearing the scarf. Yo.
Why don't you take it off? And she's like, I don't know.
I'm not allowed to take off the scarf. What?
I don't.
What? Nothing. What? No.
And then Damon comes by and he's like,
Damon comes by and is just like, hey, why don't you, like, help Elena with the dishes? Like, no, I'm good. And then he's like, do the dishes.
The dishes. He just puts the suggestion on her. Why do I
need to do the dishes? We have a dishwasher.
Load the dishwasher.
Load the dishwasher. Put in the power. Put in the
Ajax.
Put in the Ajax.
I was like, man, what the hell's the name of a
Powerball that gets dishes done.
The Powerball. Oh man. Type names of dish detergent down below in the comments.
Name your favorite dish detergent in the comments below. These questions are getting more insane.
These requests for the comments are just, our comment section is gonna not be talking about the episode,
it's gonna be talking about dish detergent
and vampire sweat.
Where was I on my notes?
I think Damon and Stefan are gonna have another argument.
Oh yeah, Damon and Stefan have an argument. Damon sees himself out, and then sort of as a, I'm glad that you're okay, they start kissing, like Elena and Stefan.
And Stefan started having a kiss.
They having a kiss, they get on the bed, they throw the American history book off the
Fuck
bed.
Fuck Mr. Tanner anyway.
Yeah, fuck Tanner, he
He's
sucks.
a bitch. They also toss a little teddy bear.
And then some kind of jump scare happens, but like I don't understand. Like there was a scare cord, and then she jumps awake from bed, and I don't know what happened.
And from what I was able to check from like the wiki, it appears this might have been a dream, and then Damon like invaded it and turned it into a nightmare. I'm not sure if that's a literal or metaphorical invasion.
When did the nightmare part happen? I just saw him taking his shirt off. Did he just suddenly get Damon's face? I couldn't tell.
Like, yeah, I'm not sure if this is a literal or metaphorical thing. Like, is this a power Damon has, or is she just having a weird dream where then Damon attacks or something? Or whatever happens.
We've got a vampire writing in a diary. We are 3-0.
3-0 on Vampire Diaries.
Oh, and there's a bird in Elena's window. It's the bird. It's Sting.
Sting again.
Stefan just like fiddles around with a little box in his house while he's writing the diary. And then we go to a big football tailgating party with cheering and food and burning effigies of people alive.
The big old just effigy of a player from the opposing team, the Lions or whatever they're called.
We'll burn them at the stake. Woo!
Woo! It's just like, you know, buddy, you've been saying you're a witch. You could have turned that into an actual voodoo doll, I imagine, and had that player just get burned alive.
We have to delay the game. The star quarterback just spontaneously combusted. Sorry, guys. He died. No.
I imagine I've just said something actually kind of offensive about voodoo as a religion. I apologize.
Well, voodoo as the media concept, not voodoo as the voodoo.
Yeah. There is a distinct difference.
You're not a boy with the power. You know?
That's true. I am not. Voodoo. Nothing. Okay.
I'm sorry, my brain just kind of fizzled for a second.
You forgot the rest of Dance Magic Dance there.
I'm sorry.
All right, so then Radar comes into the room.
Yeah,
he holds out a piece of paper and says, "I have a message. Lieutenant Colonel Henry Blake's plane was shot down over the Sea of Japan. Spun in. There were no survivors." Wait, hold on. These are the wrong notes.
Meg Fighter, we're talking about the series that brought women to the front line. Vamp.
And dared to show the other side of war?
Yeah.
Oh shit. I feel like that's also gonna be a Patreon goal. Is we're gonna track down and buy
China
a DVD.
Beach.
We're gonna buy or pirate China Beach and watch it.
I would like to buy China Beach, but if we can't find it, then I'll pirate it.
Yes, if anyone's fucking got rips of that.
Piracy's okay if you don't have access to a thing, but if you do, pay for it.
And guess what? We can't access it on streaming because we can't get it on streaming.
Which is weird.
Apparently it's music rights issues, which is always fun.
Yeah, that's why like the only song you heard in M.A.S.H was like just some Korean song. And then sometimes like footage of a baseball game from like 30 years ago.
And the M.A.S.H theme.
And the M.A.S.H theme, which I think was made for M.A.S.H.
It was made for M.A.S.H. And written by a 17-year-old, I believe.
That's kind of cool. So,
he was a teenager.
While they're burning an effigy alive, Stefan goes over to Elena and gives her this kind of... It looks kind of cheap.
It's just kind of a cheap-looking necklace.
It's a like cheap necklace. It has like a patina on it to show that it's old, but it's also not polished. It looks just kind of gray, like a little gem in it. And she mentions that it has a weird smell, and it's a verbena vervain necklace.
Yeah, it's Vervain. We don't know what Vervain is yet, but we do know. Well, we know
We
from
know, but we don't know, right?
if we were following this completely blind, we would have no idea what the hell Vervain is and why it's important.
Right now, we kind of know, but we're doing it one episode at a time. So
Yeah.
we're not going to talk about what it is until it becomes relevant.
Until we get the full info on it.
Like, we saw a clip of what happens this episode, but I didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
From like the Jenny Nicholson review, so we'll get to that too. Figure out who it was.
Yes.
So Elena quits the cheerleading team, but Caroline does not care.
Like, whatever.
They kiss again. History coach man shows up and does a big rousing speech about the other team and how fucked they are because they have one wide receiver.
They have a new wide receiver, and he's gonna be our guy. And this doesn't start anything. Everyone is kind of like tense about it. But what starts the fight is Tyler spots Jeremy with Vicky.
He's like drinking and he's sitting next to Vicky. And then Tyler makes a face and he's like, "Oh, hey, Jeremy, brought your stupid ass over again, huh?" Then he starts like making a beeline toward him. Jeremy just gets up and clocks him in the face.
Like, yeah, we just start up a fight. Like, they finally go at it. And like, it's a fairly back and forth fight.
I just loved the teacher talking up Stefan. It's just like, "I fucking hate you, but now we're gonna win because of you. Yeah, you have value now.
You have value to me now because we can win a football game." And apparently their like home games have been utter misery and they've been steamrolled before.
They've been obliterated in home games.
Which really does not bode well for the football team's prospects. That might be why the history teacher is having to like double as the coach because they can't afford an actual coach.
He clearly gives a shit about the football team more than he gives a shit about the history class, because at the history class he just is insulting a bunch of teenagers.
So what you're saying is that the budget is in reverse, where it's like they've had to cut budget so hard they had to drop an actual history teacher and use the football coach because the football team's not making money.
Yeah, but like, isn't like test results tied to like how much money a school gets?
I imagine partly, but one of the big things that brings in money is football games. That's why sports is so emphasized in high school over like the arts.
Yeah.
You're more likely to get cuts to the theater than you are to the arts than you are to sports, because sports brings in money.
I mean, that's interesting, I guess, but also kind of fucked.
It's very fucked, and it's a very sad reality of the American education system.
So they are rolling around in the grass and punching each other, and everyone's like saying to break it up, but not actually trying to break it up. And then Stefan steps in, and Jeremy grabs the broken alcohol bottle on the ground and just stabs him in the fucking hand because he's trying
He's trying to glass Tyler, which is amazing.
He's trying to glass Tyler, but Stefan like puts a hand up and he gets stabbed in the hand.
He gets sliced.
Yeah. But then when they come to check on his hand, he's good. His hand's not bleeding anymore.
He's fine. Barely a scratch.
And then they do the face of like, vampire, question mark, question mark, question mark.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, and I think this is definitely what it is that they're going for like, he has he has health, like rapid healing, a healing factor.
Yeah, Elena sees that and then immediately goes to Bonnie and he's just like, "All right, so just tell me, like, what weird shit did you see when you were doxing me?" to Stefan. And she brings up the numbers again. Like, I saw the numbers and I saw, like, I had this feeling of death. Death come before me. Saw numbers and death, which is just numbers flying at you. Like you're in some kind of
14-22, 8-14-22, hike!
Football guy just slams right into her again. Matt's just like, "Sorry, that just happens.
These numbers happen and I just gotta tackle you."
And then we get Damon jump scare.
Jump scare again.
Because Elena leaves after she talks to Bonnie, and then finds Damon in the parking lot. And he's hiding from Caroline because she won't shut up because she's a woman.
Oh my god. It's about that bad, yeah. Really annoying.
Women. Damon tries to put the hots on her and like tell her that like, oh, you know, you say you like Stefan, but I know what you're really about it. You wanna have sex with the Damester over here. Damester.
He does not call himself the Damester.
He does
thankfully.
in my head. Then he tries to compel her to like fall in love with him, but because there's vervain in the necklace, it doesn't work, and she just slaps him in the face. And she's like, "Listen, buddy, fuck you."
But I'm not doing this weird thing
I'm not
with
doing
you
this
and your
like
brother.
dick measuring contest between two brothers and their stupid ex who's dead and on fire. Okay, bye.
Who died in a fire.
Matt apologizes to Stefan about being a dick, and then they exchange a fist bump.
Yeah. They're becoming bros, and I'm just like, yeah, Matt's not being treated like shit.
Go,
Things
Matt.
are coming up, Matt.
Everything's coming up, Matt.
Team Matt's getting wins.
Team Matt getting a big win here.
Go Team Matt.
And then Damon's just like shouting in the background about sports.
Yes.
Football, yeah. Woo, football. Camaraderie,
Woo,
teamwork.
ready for some football.
Sports. And then he confronts Stefan. He confronts Stefan about the fact that, like, where'd you get that vervain, Stefan? The ground.
Well,
how'd you get it?
Stefan's like, none of your business.
And then Damon's just like talking himself up about the fact that like I could kill anyone here. Doesn't matter. I don't give a shit. You're busy in like high school hijinks, and I got like a blood bag in Caroline, and like you ain't shit to me. You're weak. Then Stefan's like, yeah, well, if you're heartless, kill me right fucking now. Do it, coward.
Do it. But he
And
doesn't do it.
He doesn't do it. And then the coach teacher just shows up.
Mr. Tanner arrives.
Mr. Tanner, he's like, hey man, we gotta play football, man. Come on, man. And then David just runs over and starts like viciously making out with his neck.
Viciously kissing his neck.
Fun fact, he is listed in the wiki as death by blood loss, but that was not enough blood to do that.
I assume he died on the way to the coroner. The thing is, they called the coroner already. So, like, he is dead. But I guess Damon drained out more than he bled out, so.
Maybe. And then, yeah, he's like, see, I could kill anybody. I don't give a shit.
Anytime, anywhere.
I don't give a fuck.
And we're just meanwhile cheering because it's like, yeah, fuck that guy.
That is the worst history teacher. Rip Mr. Tanner, ripping pepperonis, rip Bozo, smoking that
Bozo.
dead Tanner pack or whatever the fuck the meme is.
Fuck Mr. Tanner. All my homies hate Mr. Tanner.
So Matt's mad at Tyler for pretty much constantly egging on Jeremy and shoves him into a locker. Tyler's like, man, I'm just watching your back. We're on the same team, dude.
Like, you gotta chill, man.
The police and the coroners, or the chaplain or whatever, they zip up Mr. Tanner's body and, like, take him away. And Bonnie sees the numbers that she saw. Oh my god. 22.
Like, building 8, and then there's, like, a license plate that's 14, parking space 22. 22!
22!
Oh, man!
Oh, man! Why me?
Why me?
Fucking Sid Vicious.
Sid Vicious. The wrestler, not the singer, in case you were wondering. Which is a distinction we also have to make for Sting. The wrestler, not the singer.
Unless Sting the singer. I think there's pictures of Sting the wrestler and Sting the singer together.
Someone did offer a Sting out, like a police album for Sting to sign.
That's great. Bond's just like, I'm sorry what happened to the coach. That was one angry raccoon. I just don't know why all these people are being attacked. Because Elena doesn't know he's a vampire yet. No,
This raccoon is out of control, man.
Raccoon's going after teachers, going after students. It killed fucking Mr. Asshole.
He killed Mr. Tanner. Mr. Tanner. He killed a bunch of campers. Killed a bunch of people driving. He's just going crazy. He attacked Vicky. Attacked Caroline, probably. They don't know that yet.
Yeah. Coach got, and then we cut to Stefan writing in his diary, "Dear diary, Coach got fucking ganked by my brother. Shit, I'm gonna have to kill him now." And then it cuts to Damon just like in Elena's bedroom because he was invited in earlier, and he's going to show up there every day and pet her chin like a dog while she's asleep.
And then use her dishwasher.
And then use her dishwasher because he's got some fucking wine glasses and plates he needs to clean, and he's got some burnt-on cheese on that skillet that he has. And that shit is hard to scrape off.
Impossible, man.
Here is some fun factorinos. End of the episode.
We got to look over what songs we haven't talked about. That's right.
Fun factorinos. The scene where Mr. Tanner tests Stefan with historical dates is kind of ripped from the Omen 2 or Damien Omen 2, where the history teacher does it to Damon or Damien.
Damon is the vampire, and Damien
Derek,
is from
the son of the devil.
Derek. God, it's gonna drive us nuts when they actually introduce a Derek.
Also, no Jenna. No Jenna.
No Jenna this episode.
Jenna-less.
We are no Jenna episode.
I didn't like this episode as much as I did the last episode. I feel like the plot did progress, but it was like a 70-30, and the 70 was football.
I'll be honest, the fact that the 70 was football was part of why I liked it, because it's just such a silly thing of a vampire playing football.
It's goofy, but it feels like something that would happen, like, when you need to pad the episode count.
Yeah.
Like, Season 5, we're running out of ideas. Not Season 1, Episode 3, which I would say is kind of the episode that establishes your status quo. Because, like, pilot, things happen. Second episode, you establish some of the base relationships. Third episode, status quo usually established.
They shook up the status quo. They killed a guy.
Yeah, they killed a guy. They killed Dickhead Tanner, who was the only school teacher that they showed in this entire show so far.
He does the PTA meetings. He teaches history. He coaches the football team.
Yeah.
Mystic Falls High School's screwed now without him.
Yeah, they're gonna have to find somebody.
Have to find another guy.
Anyway, we're going to go through songs. Got Slow Poison by The Bravery. Now, I actually know who The Bravery are. They were a kind of like a pop rock band. And I remember them from specifically Burnout 3 Takedown.
Of course.
I fucking love Burnout 3 Takedown. Best Burnout game. And that song would play a lot. Also, you'd hear a lot of like Yellow Card and Fallout Boy. Sometimes they'd sneak a Avenged Sevenfold on there. That might be Burnout Revenge. I don't know.
There's a 50-50 chance if Ash recognizes a band or a song, it's because it was in a racing game.
Yeah. I'm not gonna protest. No, that's true.
True.
We've got Blue Day by Darker My Love. No fucking idea what that is.
Not a clue on that one.
We've got Starstruck by 303.
Followed by Strange Times by the Black Keys.
And then You're a Wolf by the band Seawolf.
Where's the wolf? I don't see wolf anywhere.
C with an A.
I know, but You're a Wolf by Seawolf.
You're a wolf.
It's like they're arguing how much you're a wolf. Like, you're a wolf.
I'm just thinking wolf. I'm just thinking of like a Wikipedia article or like a dictionary, just like subject C, this wolf.
Oh, you're a wolf. See, wolf.
Yes. Then we've got Papillon by the Airborne Toxic Event. Who the fuck?
Huh? I don't know that one.
The Airborne Toxic Event is an alternative rock band that started in 2006.
Hey.
And the lead guy is Michael Jollett, whoever that is. Wrote a book. Good for him. All right.
Good for him.
Then we've got Temptation, which is a Moby cover of a New Order song.
It was all right.
Yeah, it was all right.
I don't know Temptation as well as I do, like, Blue Monday or True Faith.
I do like True Faith.
True Faith's pretty good. But, as far as covering a New Order song, it was all right.
I also like that one music video New Order did where everyone's just like dressed in weird costumes.
I think that's the True Faith album. Isn't that the True Faith cover?
Maybe?
Or the True Faith video?
Let me check.
Like the one where there's like a spring man.
There's a spring man, and then there's a dude who's like spinning in place and doing sign language, and then there's a bunch of guys jumping on a trampoline, and then
guys
there's
like
these
kind of slapping
two
each
guys
other.
slapping each other in the face.
There's like a slightly androgynous like shield person or whatever.
Yeah. It's a weird music video. I don't know if it's supposed to make sense.
I feel like it's one of those, that's what you interpret from it kind of things, But that'll wrap up episode 3.
Yes. Barring specific circumstances, we will be back next week for episode 4.
We'll try. And to sign off, football!
Do your dishes.
Do your dishes. Don't dox your friends.
Don't dox your friends. Football.
Big chungus, big chungus. Big chungus. Big chungus. Big chungus.